This is Kathy Knipfer, instructor for Nursing 2333, recording the Managing Nursing Care lecture for Chapter 17 on Leading Change. Now let's look at responsibilities of leaders and managers. They should utilize change theory, ensure safe and effective care during change. They should serve as change manager and agent. They should support staff during times of difficult transitions. They should recognize their own reaction to change and assess and facilitate change at the system level, the unit level, the team level, as well as the individual level. When we look at the nature of change, we find that it is a natural social process of altering things. It involves individuals, groups, organizations, and society. It is constant and unavoidable. Change occurs at different speeds at both a personal and an organizational level. It varies from high complexity to low complexity. Let's look at the types of change. There is planned change, which is also called first order change, and then there is unplanned change or second order change. It is based on the complexity theories that suggest that change is not episodic, but rather an ongoing experience through which a system adjusts and realigns. There are 3 stages of change according to Lewin. The first is unfreezing, where individuals and organizations recognize the need to change. The second stage is moving or changing. This is where planned interventions and strategies are executed to support implementation of the change. The third stage is refreezing, where the focus is on sustaining the change over a longer period of time. With linear or planned change, we can use Lewin's force field analysis to look at the elements such as barriers and facilitators. Examples to look at might be environment, support service availability, information technology, as well as staff morale. Planned change is a slow, methodical approach that is viewed as linear. Planned change typically deals with predictable changes such as determining how to educate all staff on the use of a new piece of equipment. The second type of change is nonlinear or complex change. Nonlinear refers more to a web. Everything is connected. Pulling on one piece moves other pieces so that a new pattern appears. Most changes in healthcare are complex because they involve many people and clinical and organizational changes. It is important to have a champion to facilitate change. This champion should have drive and enthusiasm, be a lifelong learner, be a good communicator, and have referent power. Characteristics of good change agents include being committed to the best way of doing things, being courageous, taking the initiative and thinking outside the box, being motivated, caring, humble, and also having a sense of humor. Here's a diagram of nonlinear or complex change. There are 5 organizational disciplines that support change and evolution. The first is systems thinking. It's the development of frameworks that see the organization as a complex entity whose many parts impact outcomes. Personal mastery, which is the fostering of openness in the face of change by maintaining self-awareness and using reflection. Mental models, which is the practice of helping individuals become aware of how they think, what they value, and how that impacts organizational performance. Shared vision, which is the process of creating a common view about where the organization is going. Team learning is the promotion of teams thinking together, collaborating and sharing ideas, knowledge, and perspective. Responses to change include the human side as well as the systems and technologic side. According to Rogers, there are varied reactions to change. Rogers has identified some types with a description. The first is the innovator, who thrives on change. The early adopter readily accepts change and serves as advisor about change to others. The early majority prefers doing things the way they have always been done, but will eventually accept new ideas. The late majority is openly negative and agrees to change only after most others have accepted it. The laggard prefers traditions and openly resists change efforts. And the rejecter actively opposes change. They may even sabotage and develop strategies to interfere with change success. Change management functions include planning, and this includes assessment, organizing, implementing, evaluating, as well as seeking feedback. Take a few moments to review box 17-4 on 315 and 17-3 on page 314 regarding change support strategies and Cotter's 8 steps of change model. Strategies are approaches designed to achieve a particular purpose based on anticipation and consideration of myriad human, technologic, and system responses. Effective strategies to facilitate change include listening, establishing a connection with staff, building trust, allowing dialogue. The leader must serve as facilitator. They must promote sharing of ideas, get an honest reaction to understand and learn from one another, also to empower. Other effective strategies include facilitate, cooperate, coerce, manage information, and manage relationships. It is important that nurses do self-assessment on how receptive they are to change and innovation. If you look at Table 17-1 on page 313, there are several items, or 10 items, that are assessed. The first is, I enjoy learning about new ideas and approaches. And you would answer yes, depends, or no for each of these. Once I learn about a new idea or approach, I begin to try it right away. I like to discuss different ways of accomplishing a goal or end result. So each of these would be assessed. Each of the 10 items would be assessed. Other items in the self-assessment regarding being receptive to change are, I talk over my ideas for change with my peers. I volunteer to be at meetings when changes are being discussed. I discuss my ideas for change with my family. Tips in leading change. When leading relationships, the leader should serve as a coach and a guide. The leader should develop awareness of interdependencies, foster trust, as well as promote openness. When leading processes, the leader should serve as a facilitator, solve process problems, and lead with the team. When leading a culture during change, the leader should endorse the behavior that is desired. The leader should promote accountability, reward best practices, empower staff, and keep the patient at the center. So consider this activity of putting theory into practice. So what you've learned in this chapter, you want to apply it to the situation where a manager and a clinical educator have a responsibility to orient two nurses to staff a new infusion center. This would be in a small community hospital. Identify what you would do to facilitate the change.